This job is not actually very complicated. Your actual work as far as selecting the right apartments in the desired location and sending over the list takes a couple minutes, right? So the actual work isn't very challenging, but what you really want to focus your energy on is being friendly and being nice to your lead and just really kind of connecting with them. You should keep these meetings under 15 minutes. The main point of this is just to go over the pre-qualification, make sure everything is exactly correct. You know, people change their minds, and you're just trying to make them feel comfortable in your ability to help them and just build that trust. That's the main part of these sales calls, because the actual work is done after the sales call. After that, it's just a follow-up game. So it's really not a complicated business. But real quick, let's go over her pre-qual. I like to kind of look over all of this stuff before I jump on a call. And let's see here. So location, you might want to get familiar with their location. And if you don't know what this means, like this lead wants to move in the Heights in Houston, you just Google it real quick. So Houston Heights, I'm going to pull up the map on here and see sort of where it is. All right, it's slightly north Houston. And over time, you will get better at your job. And this will just come second nature to you. Well understood. So slightly north of Houston. And then she wants a townhome style. Okay, so 1,800 max rent. Her credit score is good. Really, any credit over 600 and they're good to rent an apartment. It's really no big deal. That would be different if we were realtors, but we're not. So our job is easier. All right, her monthly income. Okay, understood. 5,000. So usually apartments want to see 3 times the rent. Negative background, nope. Any pets? Yes. Dogs and cats. So if she does have a pet, like a breed restricted pet, let's make sure that we're letting her know about the ESA trick by going on waggy.pet, because that could save her a lot of money in pet rent and get her breed restricted animal approved, right? So you got to touch on that. So this appointment is actually scheduled for 2 p.m., which is it's 2 p.m. right now. So why don't we just record this entire sales call? So I'm sure you guys want to see how that's going to go. Alrighty. Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Awesome, guys. So I am going to help you guys find the best apartment ever. Hey, there you are. Hi, I'm Pierre Meggi. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm Dave. Nice to meet you.
Awesome. So Dave and Karina, great. So let me share my screen here and then we can kind of get this process started. Awesome. So you went through the form. Thank you so much for doing that. That makes everything super easy. So now we can just basically make sure that everything is accurate, because I think you filled it out twice, correct, Karina?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're going to Houston instead.
Got it. What brings you guys out to Houston?
My job?
Okay. So just a job thing. Let's talk about your location. Do you want to be right at the heart of the Heights, or are you open to other locations as well?
We're open to other locations. The Heights just is what I prefer, just because my job is in that area.
Okay, cool. So that's close to your job. Does that area work best for both of you guys?
Yeah, that area shouldn't be a problem for me as well.
Cool. If we pull up a map, we can kind of draw a circle, like a radius. That way I can sort of filter out all of the apartments that could make sense for you in that area. So let me do that and boot up this database. So this is actually the database that we use and pay for. It's proprietary to licensed apartment locators. This is basically like an apartments.com, but with more features and more filters to go through. So we can get really detailed here with the kind of apartment. I know you guys wanted a townhome style, so we can actually put that into the system. And it's just a more accurate way to search for everything. So let's do this together, and then I will do all of the fine tuning after the call, so that way you guys aren't just waiting for me to compile a list. Does that make sense for you guys? Okay, cool. So let's go and search in Houston, and then we can just sort of pinpoint on the map. And then it'll just be really fast after that point. Draw this our area on map. So Houston Heights, I think, is just a couple miles north of the center of Houston.
Off the top of my head, I don't explore Houston enough.
Got it. Are you guys familiar with the city of Houston, or no?
No, I like go to work, I go home, go to work, go home. I don't really explore.
Like all of us adults, well understood. All right, so here's Houston Heights.
So being the way Houston traffic is, one mile could be a minute, or 1 mile could be 15 minutes, depending on time of day and stuff. I haven't even found a job out there yet. I'm not going to be moving out there right away.
Got it.
I'm going to be probably the second half of this. So it's going to be her solo for at least a few months. but I know that because of the way traffic is, she wanted to keep it within 15 miles just of her job. What part of the Heights is that?
15 minutes or miles?
15 miles.
Okay, 15 miles.
Yeah, no, that, as I said, that could be 1 mile radius depending on what time of traffic it is.
I guess a better question to ask now would be, how long of a commute would be too long as far as driving to work?
Anything longer than like 30 minutes would probably be a little too long.
Okay, I would probably cap that at like maybe 6 miles max.
Let's go out a little bit. Let's do at least 10 miles.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. And then we can just kind of narrow it down from there. So let's do that. I'm going to draw on here, and if this looks good to you guys, then I can basically take over the rest.
10 miles is not horrible, babe.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, if you have to fade a 45-minute commute a couple times a week,
Question, what time are you leaving for work, just so we can get an idea of the traffic at that hour?
she works evenings.
I work like around 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
As it's starting, so it's not too bad yet.
Yeah, you're not like in the heart of rush hour, so that's good. Your boyfriend is going to meet you in a few months, so as far as who's going to be on the application, it looks like it's going to be just yourself, Karina?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll qualify with your own proof of income, etc. Got it. So let's just continue going over all of this, and I can just kind of make a quick note here. 30 minutes max, around 10 miles. And I can work on this on my own time. Cool. You are wanting is it a 2-bedroom? Because I know before you said maybe a 1-bedroom. You were open to that?
I mean, depending on the price, like if we were just getting a feel of a deal, because this is probably the last year that we want to be paying rent. You know, I'm 30 years old. I'm ready for a mortgage. So
Totally understand.
The last time we'll be doing apartments. If we were to get like a good deal just so we could save up, quicker
Yeah.
for that house, then possibly. I I feel like you'd have a hard time finding a 1-bedroom with like a yard.
Right. You'll be surprised. There should be some options. The reason I ask is because how apartments work, the focus is primarily on the number of bedrooms. So whenever you add even one bedroom, it jumps up to a different price bracket. Yeah.
Something that fits the criteria with a 1-bedroom, then we would definitely be open to it. How much money we'd be saving.
That works. Okay. So 2-bedroom is ideal. Got it. Okay. So the main thing is the yard because of the pets, correct?
Yeah.
I think you said you guys had the ESA letter already completed.
David has something for her, I believe. She's
Okay, got it. So that'll be good because when you do have that emotional support animal letter, you can avoid paying extra pet rent, and then the pet deposit and pet fee, which sometimes could be like $800, that gets waived as well. Even if your pet is not breed restricted, it still helps as far as waiving your deposit and your fee and the extra pet rent. So that's cool that you have that already. And if you guys need another recommendation on that, then there is a company that we work with where I think it's like a $90 fee, and then in 2 days you get the ESA letter. So let us know if your current letter is expired, and then we could also refer that over to you. Cool. Does that make sense?
Go digging to find it, honestly.
Say again?
So I'd have to go digging somewhere to find it, honestly.
Yeah, so if you don't want to dig and find it, it does make sense because it's like you pay $90 for like a fresh one, and then you get everything waived. So it's really easy to understand how that makes sense. But
I didn't even know that you could get all those fees and deposits waived.
Yeah, that's industry standard how it works. There have been a couple markets, like we've seen clients out in Boston where it was a little bit different, or New York, but in Texas it's very, very easy to get everything waived. So it's like pet rent waived, the deposit and the fee, which is really cool. Just so you have that resource. Cool. So your credit is good. As far as proving your monthly income, can you get either pay stubs or like an employment verification letter? Any issues there? Okay, cool.
I can get something from my company.
Awesome. Is it still May 9th that you would like to move in?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Somewhere around the first week of May, last week of April, because my lease ends up on May 10th.
Okay, yeah, your lease is out May 10th. Makes sense. I think it's nice that you're moving. It's getting closer to your move-in date instead of being 2 months out. Because usually what we see is that when you move in closer to your move-in date, then that's where you get more specials. Because if you're looking exactly 60 days out in the future, then the property kind of understands that they have time to maybe lease it. They're not really worried about leasing it. So then you get like less of a better deal. So I think that's cool that we're just like a month away. So that will help for as far as better prices. And cool, guys. So it looks like I've got everything I need. So I understand sort of the location, the commute, the bedrooms. Yeah, that'll be good. So when your boyfriend moves in and meets you in a few months or so, that will be really easy to just add him as an occupant. And at that point, when you already have the apartment, then they just run like a quick background check and it's very easy to put him on. So I don't think you guys will have an issue there. Other than that, do you have any other questions in particular?
No.
Cool. We've got your preferences, your move-in date. So I will get to work on this and we will generate that list of apartments. We'll make sure that all of your preferences are on the list and I will email that over and I'll title the email property report in all caps. So when you do receive that, Karina, feel free to ask me anything you want. If I haven't toured an apartment, then one of my agents has, as far as what we really think about what exact property.
That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. Let me know if you have any other questions. You can just text me anytime.
No, thank you. We really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you, David. Bye, Karina.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so that was the appointment. So as you can see, it's really not that challenging. You just want to make sure that your clients are comfortable in your ability and just be polite and just add value where you can. They talked about having 2 pets. So I mentioned the ESA letter and how that could actually help them as renters. We talked about, what they wanted. That way they felt like they're really heard and they understand that I know what their preferences are, over video, face to face. So we have seen that calls like this over Zoom have the same effect as in-person meetings, at someone's office face to face, but we can do it remote. So that's the whole point, right? And now, because of that Zoom call, I have already dramatically reduced my ghosting rate because they saw that I actually, walked them through some of my systems, the database. I explained to them that the tool that we use is like similar to like what they're familiar with, apartments.com, but with more filters and is proprietary. So they see the value in working with me, understanding how I can help them, showing them the tools. Everything was transparent. Even though you might not have heard any confirmation about that, we have split tested that. Whenever we get on Zoom calls, we can dramatically lower our ghost rate and our clients do appreciate us more, and there's just less ghosting in general because we saw them. We had a call with them, we saw them, we had a human interaction, and they're much more personal. You get to connect with your clientele more than just over the phone with no face to the name, right? I'm just gonna quickly make this list, and now that I understand sort of what they're looking for. Another main thing that you want to focus on phone calls is really trying to understand and pull out of them feedback, so that way you can actually send them a list that they're going to lease, right? Because one challenging part about this job is getting feedback from clients that aren't really giving a lot of feedback. Because if they're not really opening up with you as far as where they want to live, it's your job as a locator to kind of pull that out of them. Like, okay, where do you work? Because that's the main thing. Or do you have any kids? Because then daycare would be really the main thing over the job. But it's your job to sort of pull feedback however you can, so you can tailor and select a location to send them a list that makes sense, right? That's going to increase your chances of closing them. And the reason we're doing up to 2 bedrooms is because they were also okay with 1 bedrooms. And 0 means studio on this database. Click on property type right here, construction, and let's just only make sure the townhome is checked off. So we're going to put $1,700. And the reason we're going to put $1,700 and not $1,800 is because her monthly income was $5,000. So if you divide that by 3, because that's the qualifications, and that turns into $1,700. So that's the budget, and then let's just hit run.